Here's my image with all of the flats filled in now, and my last step of the flats production phase is to adjust the values of everything to set up a good visual hierarchy, perhaps a little illusion of depth. I'm going to use curves for that. I've got my layers set up. It's going to be really quick. I'm going to start with the page, and before I do that, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I like to do that to kind of get a nice little overview of how everything is relating to everything else. So, got my page layer selected. I'm going to go to Image, Adjust, Curves, and that page feels a little light to me, so I'm going to darken it. I think probably right up about there. Looks pretty nice. Now I'm going to go to Ships Row 3, same thing. Adjustments, Curves. And I really want these to be very light. I want them to be about half as dark. So I put my black point up here. I don't want these lights to be as light. I want it to be very low value range. So too much. I think I'll go right about there. Let's go to Ships Row 2, Image, Adjust, Curves. I want these to pop out just a little bit more. So I'm going to go to where I just set row 1, and I think I'll make it just a little bit darker like that. That should work. Ships Row 3. Adjust the curves. And once again, I'm going to kind of start where I left off here. I want these to be, I think it was about that, would be a little darker. And I think I want these lights to be slightly lighter in this particular case. So I'm going to go up just a little bit with those. That looks pretty good. So I got a little bit of an illusion of depth with using atmospheric perspective going there. Now, the person, I'm going to skip the ray for a second. I don't like how dark these three-dimensional kind of streaks are, so I'm going to select those, holding the Shift key down right now. And because I have these flats, you can see I can select that really quickly. And now I'm going to go to curves again. And now this is why I use curves. Probably could have just used hue and sat or light and dark on the other layers. But this one here, I want to keep the black. So I want to keep my black point here. It's my black point. It's my white point. So I'm going to pull, I can see this is my dark gray, it's my middle gray, my light gray. I'm going to pull my dark gray up about halfway. I'm going to pull my light gray down just a little bit. And then I'm going to try to make a straight line in between here by putting a couple of points in here. Okay, there we go. Pull that straight down. Make a straight line there. Probably didn't really need to do that. Okay, so really what I've done is I've created a straight line from here to here with my dark gray at this level, my light gray at that level, and a nice straight line in between. So that's a really cool thing with curves. I use curves all the time. I never use anything else really because it's so much more powerful than brightness and contrast or levels. All right, now I can deselect. I always use the keyboard shortcut for that, so there we go. Deselect. Last but not least, I want to make this light ray here. the abduction ray a little darker. So I'll click that layer, image adjust, curves. I wanted to do that last because it overlays over top of everything else. And, sometimes I just like to go too far. You can see I've got it set at about 60% opacity. That's why it's not going all the way to black. I kind of think I like right about there. All right. Now, I think this is a little too big. Now that I'm seeing, kind of the hierarchies, it seems to be dominating the composition. I really want the person here to dominate, so I think I'm going to reshape that ray. So I'm going to go to edit, and transform and distort. And I think I'm going to just kind of like pull this in a bunch. Something like this. Mm-hmm. That's looking pretty good. That does not take up nearly as much of the composition there now. Okay. Okay, well, it's taking up less space, but I don't like it kind of lost some of its dynamic shape, some of its curves. So I'm going to go to another one of my favorite tools, which is edit, transform, and warp. And I'm going to kind of give it a little bit more curve again, a little more personality here, I think. Yeah. That's better. Oh, got a little bit sticking out over here, but I'll just erase that, I think. That looks pretty good. I guess I got to get this back lined up. Okay, hit return. That's good. I'll just come over here and slice that right off, hitting the delete key. Deselect. And I think that looks pretty good. And next phase, we'll add some more shading and highlights, and we will add the color and some texture. So that's all for now, and we'll see you in the next demo.